So, I'm stuck in motherfucking traffic on 95. Trying to get down to at least Virginia before I stop. Stop and go traffic, if you ride in a truck, is some trash. Unless the truck is an automatic. I don't got no automatic. So this shit is some straight motherfucking trash. But what I figured I would do while I'm sitting out here on the road is come in and deal with some of the comments I got on the video I made about this white hoe and cultural appropriation. I got some interesting comments, some good comments, some comments that I feel as though I should expound on what I'm saying here. Now, one of the things that you've got to understand within the black community, if you're going to be dealing with the black community this way, is that weave to black women is like white bitches are to black men. It's you're going to be hard pressed. You're going to be hard pressed trying to get them to see what's wrong with the act or the adornment. You're going to have a hard time. That's just something that you know when you're dealing with your people. Certain areas are going to be kind of sensitive. Because the level is a lot of it is people too far gone. And I've been really working on, you know, my patience, my approach and shit like that. We mentioned this in another video I did. And, you know, I'm trying to be better about this shit. And understand that motherfuckers is sick. For real. A motherfucker is sick. So black women treat this weave and wearing weave about like black men treat fucking white hoes. If, you know. If you can understand the intensity that people, the strongness that people feel about it. I said in my video that I made that I don't feel as though black women can call a white bitch a cultural appropriator for wearing braids if our women are going to continue to run around wearing blonde weaves and straightening their hair to have that Europeanized texture that is not natural to us. And, you know, these are people have issues with me saying stuff like that. And I get it. This is an area people feel real strongly about. You know, particularly black women. You talking about some weave, nigga. Nigga, you in for a motherfucking fight. You better know it, goddammit. Because they gonna fight for this shit. But, nonetheless, I wanted to deal with some of the comments here. Alright, I'm going to break them down. I'm going to go through them. No disrespectful shit going on. Just giving my perspective. And hopefully everybody will be able to digest what I'm saying and understand where I'm coming from. Hopefully. You know, that's always just a hope. Now, the first comment that I'm going to go through is from a Sweet Pea, who says there is a cultural significance to wearing braids. Black women has been and still get punished in certain places for wearing braids or our natural hair. Growing up, braids were considered ghetto for on black girls, but now it's cute because non-black females are wearing it. I agree with that. I remember growing up around black women and braids being ghetto was something that black people decided at the time. Black women in particular a lot of times would decide that braids were that's some ghetto shit. That's some hood rat shit. You have these, you know, so-called sophisticated, educated black women that decided to, you know, the uppity, what we call uppity, they would decide to call that shit ghetto. And we know white society gonna call anything we do or we love ourselves ghetto. We know they gonna act like that. And I've always felt that it's up to us to stop these things from happening. It's up to us to stop this type of fuckery, to stand firm, regardless. You see this a whole lot with locks, even. It's up to us to stand firm. in this, and who gives a fuck who looks at us as ghetto, who gives a fuck who looks at us as what the fuck ever. This is a white propaganda machine. They're gonna say everything about you ugly and then turn around and do it. Your lips, your ass sagging, the hip hop culture, they will talk shit about all of it and then turn around and do it. That's how they've been. That's who they've been. That's who they are. Now to this comment, which was a good comment, to the comment I say, well, we allow white folk to define us way too much. They're able to tell us what's nice, what's not nice, what's kempt, what's not kempt, what's neat, what's not neat. They're able to tell us everything about us. And we've allowed that shit. We've allowed them to conduct themselves that way. I don't give a fuck if white folk now saying that braids is cute. That don't mean shit to me. Braids been dope to me. I didn't need white folk to tell me my locks was cool when I had them. I didn't give a fuck whether they accepted them or not. And that's one of our biggest problems, is we're waiting for other folk to tell us that we beautiful. I don't know why we do that. To tell us that our hairstyles are nice. Why are we waiting on this shit? That's some of that low self-esteem shit that we have to get out of us. And then you have other black people within our communities that parrot this type of shit too. That say this type of shit. I've seen many black folk call themselves being educated that will say braids is ghetto. That's for hood rats. You say this about your own. When we know that's part of African culture, which makes it a part of our culture. That ain't no ghetto hood rat shit. It never was. We allowed them folk to say that about us. We listen to it, and then we turn around and say it about each other. Workplace discrimination about braids, find another job. Sue them motherfuckers, take them to court or whatever you gotta do, find another job. We gotta stop trying to beat down the door of white folk. We really do. That's one of the things we gotta work on. Like, motherfucker, if you don't want me here, I'm out, and it is what it is. But that was a very good comment. But I did reply, like, that's our fault. We let white folk define what's beautiful to us. We let white folk define and take parts of our culture, and then when they say it's cute, then, well, we looking at, well, now they saying it's cute. That's, of course, this is who we dealing with. That's who they are. It was never ugly on you. That's the truth of the matter, is it was never ugly on you. You believe that. We can't continue to fault these motherfuckers for saying it. We gotta fault ourselves for believing the shit we believe in at this point when it comes to our low self-esteem. I'll continue. Jessica Monroe says, what about cultural assimilation? And this is what made me want to make the video, is this comment talking about cultural assimilation, because I've seen this a lot. I've seen this concept a lot. We're dealing with cultural assimilation. She says, what about cultural assimilation? I love my hair. But for these interviews for corporate jobs, I straighten my hair, and when I get in, it's curly every day. LOL. Just throwing another perspective out there. Cultural assimilation. Just looking like them to get into their places, talking like them to get into their spaces, being fake, essentially, to get into their spaces. I hear about this, cultural assimilation. When we talk about integration being one of the biggest downfalls for black people, is because a large part of that is because of the assimilation that we had to do to be accepted by white folk. This ties into what I just said earlier. We allowing them to let us know what's acceptable. Your hair need to be straight. I don't want to work for a motherfucker who I gotta change my hair for, cut my hair off, cut my locks off. I don't want to work for you anyway. Because there's a good chance if you're going to be racist on some shit like that, and that's just the intro off my hair, you're going to do some other racist shit. That's going to have me liable to kill a motherfucker around here anyway. So I don't want to work for you anyway. I don't want to be a part of your company anyway. Now, I do understand the cultural assimilation aspect. I understand that. To a degree. Because to me, it's still selling out. I'm not going to change my voice for these white folk. I'm not going to change who I am for these white folk. I'm not going to do it. That's not my path. That's not my lane. Not going to do it. Because I don't need their acceptance and I don't give a fuck. That's me. That's where I am. People feel like they got to assimilate to that. But then there's an assumption that black women are only wearing this long, straight hair to get jobs. There are little girls wearing weave that their mama put in their head before they even thinking about the workforce. Now, I'm not saying that this woman was saying that, but a lot of people acting like, well, it's just for work. No, it ain't. Who you fooling? Was it for school too? Is it for the grocery store too? College too? Doctor's appointment too? I can't buy it's just for this job interview, because that's typically, even if a woman does do that, that's typically not how it is. This child hair been straight since she was 5, 6 years old, and sometimes younger than that. It's quite sad. That's what we expect in the black community, typically. There are more women wearing their natural hair now, which I appreciate and I respect. But that's not, just for work. That ain't how it was. That's not how it was put out. Well, baby, I'm straightening your hair for one day. You can get a job with a white man. No, we felt as though that was more beautiful than our hair. Our hair was nappy, ugly. That's what we did. Hell, there was one time black men was straightening their goddamn hair. Putting chemical in their hair. Because we said our shit was ugly. And we wanted to be accepted by white folk. But I can't tie this on, it's just for a job. Like, no, that ain't how shit works. This becomes a part of who people are. Every day, all day. That's what it becomes. I know this. Some people may not want to admit it. They want to tie it all on the assimilation. But that's not all it is that's going on here. We have an angst with our hair. We have an issue with our hair. So, Miss Monroe, I understand what you're saying, but that ain't how it don't typically work like that. Where we just do it for the interview and then we become ourselves, essentially. Which I don't know why we want to work for a place that will make you feel like you have to do that anyway. And if you look in corporate America, there are a lot of professional black peoples in corporate America that have natural hair, have locks, or have what would be considered black hairstyles. So everybody not doing it. Now you have some of these schools that are pulling our kids out of there for having black hairstyles. You have these places that are acting like this, but it's up to us to say, hell no. Well, fuck you then. Fuck your job and fuck your school. It's up to us. We got to do that work. And I'm not saying it's easy work to do. But I am saying that's the work that we have to do. We must do. Go to another comment. Says, ElijahwaPerkins, black women wear weaves by and large to assimilate, not to appropriate. Again, I disagree with that. These weaves are being worn because black women do not and have not been taught to love their own hair. And or else, why are we wearing them when we live around each other, going to black schools, and what's the weave for there? For the teachers, they won't let us in the public schools with it, or what? That's I'm not saying it's not relevant, but that is sounding like an excuse. If we look at reality. Come on, man. It doesn't seem like you understand the meaning of appropriation. If black women weren't made fun of for nappy hair and being fired from jobs, then I would agree. Yes, in 2019, I would love for black women to ignore the hate, but we still get discriminated against for wearing natural hair, especially 4C and beyond. Granted, it's getting better. Well, really, for loose curls, I myself would never wear a weave wearer, but I damn sure won't shame any black woman for wearing weave. Can't agree. I understand. I understand the comment. Now, I disagree because, again, black women are not wearing weave to assimilate. That's not all it is. There is a self-hate there with our natural texture that is almost looked over. Now, I understand people saying I was using appropriation wrong. I can understand that. I can respect that. If I'm using appropriation in an incorrect way, I can say, okay, boom, I'm wrong for that. But what you're not going to tell me is that these black women out here wearing weave to assimilate into white culture. That's not what's happening. You said by and large. No, that's not true. They wear that shit every day to the party, to the prom, where white folk ain't even having an opinion about what you're doing. This is a part of who they become, who black women are. Typically, they watch their moms be it and do it, up at the church with it. Then you wearing it for church too, to assimilate to black church. You be in black areas and you still wearing it. Still, it ain't just for the job. I feel like, I understand the argument that's being made. I understand we're talking about assimilation. We're talking about what black women have to do in order to get jobs and get respect in these workplaces and things like that. I've saw articles and stories on black women in the military being kicked out for having braids. So Uncle Sam ain't for you. You don't need to be your ass in there anyway. That's my thing. Like, don't be in there anyway. If you got to do that, if everybody else get to be themselves and you got to be like them, then we have to get more prideful in this way. And I feel like if we'd been prideful from the beginning, it wouldn't be like that right now. We don't have to assimilate. We've convinced ourselves that we do, but I don't feel like we have to do that because there are too many natural haired women in corporate America, natural haired men in corporate America. You don't got to cut your hair, black man. You smarter than all these motherfuckers, and if they don't want you, then you can go work somewhere else. If you must work for somebody else, or you can start your own business as well. Black women are starting their business at an alarming rate, higher than anybody. I've seen videos where women bragging about this shit. Black women start more businesses. Y'all niggas got more education than y'all niggas. So if you got your own business and you got education, who are you assimilating to? Who? So I can't really do the assimilation argument. I can't do it fully. I get it to a degree. I understand it to a degree. But by and large, black women are not wearing weave to assimilate. They're doing it because this is when they feel beautiful. This is what has been accepted. This is what they self-hating ass mama put it down on them. This is what happened. That's the truth that nobody wants to deal with. It's like that's not even real. Because there are excuses made to hold on to it. And I understand. But we cannot sit here and act like black women are wearing this long straight weave or whatever, straightening their hair and doing all of this for jobs. That excuse has ran its course with me. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with it. Because I know by and large that's not what's happening. You got black women don't even have jobs still wearing weave. Then who you wearing it for? You don't even work. You ain't working nowhere. Now what's the weed for? What you wearing it for now? You might be getting your stamps, and I ain't shaming nobody with stamps. You're getting your housing and stuff like that. What you mean? What you wearing it for now? I see natural hair black women in all different types of job sites, whether it be corporate America, the blue collar, the restaurant, the customer service, the retails. I'm seeing them everywhere. Black women with natural hair. So it can't just be, well, I'm wearing it for this job because there's natural women at the job. That can't continue to be an excuse. Now again, I'll give her what she's saying. If I'm saying that if I use the cultural appropriation wrong, I'll say I'm wrong about that. If that, I mean, okay, I'm wrong for making that type of comparison. I can admit that. I'll admit when I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, if y'all don't agree with the way I'm using appropriation, okay, cool, let's take appropriation out of it then. But these excuses that I continue to see for wearing this European weaves, Malaysians, Indians, the whole goddamn Asian, all of them. I'm doing this for white folks so they'll accept me. That's not the whole story. All right, that may be a piece of the story. That's not the whole story. Because I know 5-year-old little girls that ain't worried about getting no damn job that's hair straight and got weave in. Ain't worried about no job. So that can't continue to be an excuse. This is stuff that's being passed down. The hatred for our hair continue to be passed down. Now, I do see black people are doing a lot better about it now, but we can't continue to make excuses. We can't do that. Now, I know that this type of subject matter gets met with a lot of angst. A lot of people be angry. A lot of people will love everything I'm talking about until I say anything about some weed. And I understand that. I see why it's like that. I get that. But y'all can't keep hitting me with these excuses now. I ain't gonna do it. We're gonna go through one more. This one's long as fuck, so I don't know. We'll do it though, since we're here. This was a Sunnyside 1984. Says, I think when it comes to hair, it's deeper than just saying black women are stealing white culture. These folks have no culture. They infiltrate ours. And again, I'll say I'm wrong for that. For saying that straight hair is a part of white culture. Because that's not a part, it's a part of white biology, really. It's not a part of necessarily white culture. Okay? I'll say that. Black women have been attacked about our hair since the beginning, and it still hasn't changed. Black men and women still downgrade their own. We're reminded daily by either memes, posts, media, or face-to-face interactions with our flaws, while the dominant society takes the same so-called flaws and steps their asses into it for a day or two. Then we have to see and hear our men and these hoes say how much better they have. I don't know how much better they look having it and doing it. And it doesn't matter how many black women are in denial and say they don't care about what other people say. We do. You can't equate our actions to theirs and make it seem like it's not a deep-rooted, damaging psychology behind it. I'll deal with that paragraph in its piece. And I say I do agree. There is a deep psychology behind it. There is. And I wasn't trying to make light of that in the video. I wasn't trying to do that at all. That wasn't my intention. If anybody felt I was doing that, that wasn't my intention. I do understand the psychology behind it. But what I also have to do is we can come up with excuses for how we are at all times. Why we like this, we can talk about that. We can talk about the damage. We can talk about the post-traumatic slave disorder. We can talk about all that shit. But at some point, don't we have to snap out of it? Fuck society. Fuck whoever don't like it. Do we not have to snap out of it? Because then if that's not what we doing here, then what are we doing? I can trace down the psychology and how they made us hate ourselves. But right now, I don't pardon self-haters because, well, I know white folk made you do that. So, I get it. I know why you lightening your skin. So it's okay. I'm not doing that. That's not the vibe I have over here on this channel. I can see why you did it. I can see how we got here. But now it's time for us to change the game. Who cares? Who likes it? That's who we have to be to build this pride. Who gives a fuck? Who likes it? Fact of the matter is, you like it. You feel beautiful with lighter skin. Of course, the white dominant society is going to tell you that that's how you are the most beautiful, but you ain't got to listen to that shit. Of course they're going to tell you that your hair is better straight. Got these coon-ass black men that will parrot the same talking points. But who gives a fuck? And I know you said that we can say, or she's basically saying black women can say they don't care, but they do. But it's time out for all of us to stop giving a fuck. Who cares what these white folk talking about, what they think? Who cares what these coons and self-haters and sellouts talking about and what they think? Nobody cares. At least we have to get to that point where nobody cares. We can't keep using the excuse, well, we damaged, so we ain't got no choice. We do. We do. We do not have to do and be whatever these white motherfuckers want us to be to make it. That's not pride, that's cowardice. And we speak against cowardice. But when it comes to certain things, like weave, oh no, ain't nothing I can do. It's the psychology, I gotta do this shit for work. Ain't nothing I can do about that. People getting and keeping jobs is what keeps black people cowards a lot of times. And not just with weave, just with speaking up, standing up for ourselves. Standing on a principle. You can use jobs for anything. Any form of cooning. Because we're going to get the jobs from the white man and his mama. So they making us do it? No, they ain't. You choosing to do it. And you can break free at any point. You choosing to do that. And not for nothing. If you're going to wear the weave, I done said this before, why it got to be straight? It's Afro weave out here now. Afro wigs out here now. Shit. Black textured hair out here now as weave. What? So you get your weave fix, and you're wearing something that's culturally yours as well. Because I may have used cultural appropriation wrong. I may have. Some may feel that I did that. But until we own our own culture, we gotta own this shit. We got to love it. We got to love it before we gonna be out here holding other motherfuckers to task for disrespecting it. We got to love it. In spite of being told and being taught to hate it, we have to love it. Our kids are watching. What they supposed to do? What chance do they have? Well, baby girl, you gotta straighten your hair if you want to go get the job for this white man. You gotta talk like white folk too, that'll help. Let them be disrespectful and racist towards you too to keep that job. You gotta do what you gotta do. No. I disagree with that. I disagree with that completely, because that's what I'm speaking against in these videos. White approval has to become very low on our list of things that are important to us, whether they're going to accept us or not, in what way we have to look for them to accept us. Who gives a fuck that they decide to call Bantu knots fashionable because a white hoe got it. We know this is who they are. What they got to do with us? I'm calling on us to be stronger. I'm calling on us to stop making excuses. I understand the psychology. I know what they did. I know why you hate yourself. I know who taught you. Malcolm told me who taught you. But that doesn't mean you have to exist in that space. Because then it just sounds like an excuse. Now, if you just want to wear your weaves, then wear your weaves. Wear your weaves. But you're not about to tell me you're doing it for a job. You're not about to tell me you have to do it to be accepted by white folk. Because anybody can say that about anything that we do. That's some old extra ass shit that we shouldn't be doing. That's anti-loving ourselves. That's self-hating. Motherfuckers say I'm bleaching my skin for white folk to assimilate. You can say that for anything. For money. You can say that about anything. But we have to stop using it. That's not enough for me. But I do appreciate the people that make comments on the video. Again, I know this video ain't about to be met with a whole lot of, I know there'll be some disagreements, but just keep them respectful like y'all did. I really appreciate y'all. I guess I didn't even finish this comment. She says, now the rest of the video I agree with. Of course. Anything about weave, you ain't gonna really get, I ain't gonna finish the paragraph. I do appreciate y'all for keeping it respectful though, because she's just saying she agreed with the rest of my video. But, we got to be stronger in our resolve and love ourselves and stop coming up with all these bullshit ass excuses. Now, if you want to wear your weave, goddammit, just wear your weave. But don't tie it to this is how you have to exist. Because I know that's not true. I've been studying black people. I done studied black women. And you ain't even got no job and you still wearing weave. What's that? Your baby girl got the weave in. She's 7. She ain't going to get no job. She going to school. What's that? So we got to stop using these excuses. And if you want to do it, just do it, goddammit. Give me your ends. Give me your edges. But understand that you can embrace yourself and love yourself at any point. And they have Afro textured weave and wigs now. If you want to, wear your own texture. You can do that. If you want. Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. But, that's all the fuck I want to say. I understand that this isn't a topic that is a light topic, and I'm trying to be fair and balanced and everything like that, but y'all just keep it respectful in your comments. If you disagree with something that I've said here, keep it respectful. I'm man enough to admit if something I said may have been said the wrong way, if people felt I used the word cultural appropriation the wrong way. Okay. But we're going to have to find this self-love, man. And stop coming up with these excuses. Because white folk won't accept us. That can't be our every year, this is what we say. We got to do better than that. I know we can do better than that. And with the amount of natural women that I'm seeing out here in corporate America and occupying all types of spaces, making money, black women starting their own businesses. So, if you the boss, who you wearing the weave for? What's that about? But y'all comment, let me know what the fuck y'all think. Let me know how y'all feeling. Keep it respectful. And that's all the fuck I want to say. Like, share, subscribe. Links to follow me on social media in the description box. Hit that notification bell. Child Team Rob, y'all already know what the fuck it is. I'm out.